All right, so I wanted to do a quick deck profile on a deck that I've been playing for the past 2 weeks. I'm 32 now. I haven't been playing a lot in the past few days, but I think my highest rank was like 10 or something. I just need to play a bit more, I think. But yeah, I've had decent results with my deck, so I just wanted to go through it. So my current deck that I'm playing, what's happening, is Protector Gambler. And I know it's a weird deck because a lot of the cards from the Protector side actually conflict a bit with the Gambler side. So I wanted to explain my thought process on like why am I playing both and just go through all the cards and explain why I'm playing each card. So just the philosophy of the deck, I think it really starts with the Protector side. So it revolves around Fantasyland, Picture Perfect, Pocket Mirror, in combination with Lockdown and Favoritism. The goal of the deck is very simple. Protector gives you the best cards to start with. Land and Pocket Mirror are probably the best starting hand cards that you can have because it gives you an advantage right away on the preflop. So right away, like Pocket Queens or even Pocket Mirror most likely gives you the best starting hand that you can, which means that your opponent immediately has to do something or they get lucky, right? It's very possible that, let's say they get Pocket Kings, or, if the board has, 2-9, then they have a 9, then obviously they beat you. But most of the time, you will have the strongest cards, which means that they have to play cards to disrupt you from having the best hand. And that's what you want, right? And then if you combine that with Lockdown, Favoritism, and Card Protector, these cards all like protect or prevent your opponent from disrupting those nice hands that you have. So Lockdown is obviously the best card that you can have in combination with like a Fantasyland or Pocket Mirror, because basically you would play Fantasyland and then Lockdown, and it almost guarantees if the board is pretty weak and your opponent doesn't have a Pocket King or Pocket Ace, which happens very rarely, you will most likely have the better hand, and it will either force them to fold or, hope that they get something on the river. And usually, people don't want to risk that, so they would just fold. So that's really on the Protector side. Now, I've been playing Protector for a very long time, and I realized that if you don't have Fantasyland and a Lockdown or Favoritism, then basically you don't really have anything else going on. Which is why I thought that adding the Gambler side would kind of help you in the later game, right? So Protector is really good at the early game, but if ever you get disrupted, because like obviously you're not always going to have a Fantasyland and Lockdown, especially since Lockdown is only available to be played once, and Pocket Mirror is also available only once, right? So if you have double queens and they have like either a board disruption or they have something to like exchange your Pocket Queen with something else, then you don't really have a hand, right? And when that happens, then you don't want to auto fold and just give them the win. You want to have something that you can play for, or you can also disrupt them of what they're doing. And that's where Gambler comes in with all their river cards. So you have Cyclone, Misdeal, Game Plan, Over Under, Roulette. All of these are there also to disrupt your opponent's cards. So I use Gambler more as a fallback if ever your Protector side does not work out, right? And even though they conflict, so like cards like Favoritism actually lock you out of playing Cyclone and Misdeal and Over Under. But usually it basically allows you to have two different game plans at the same time. Yes, sometimes you'll have conflicting cards, which means that you can't play all of them. But most of the time, you either want to go in one direction or the other. Or you actually adapt throughout your play as well. So sometimes you're going to play your Pocket Queens. If they disrupt that, then you can fall back on like, okay, well, I still have a Misdeal that I can play, or still have a Cyclone, which will allow me to still win this hand. So that's really the philosophy in the deck. And then the other reason why Gambler is so strong is because it gives you access to gamble, because Protector doesn't have a lot of draw. Gamble, I think, is one of the best card draws in the deck because it's simply a +2. Or +1 actually, but it gives you 2 cards. And that's what you need to start replenishing your hand. Because if not, then if you just waste a lot of cards, then you're going to always be behind in card advantage. So Gambler helps you get or mitigate that lack of card advantage that you have. So that's it for like the philosophy of the deck. The weaknesses of the deck are twofold. There's like three big weaknesses that I see with the deck. One is obviously the conflicting nature of the deck. Sometimes I will only draw, like, if you only draw stuff like Blackjack, Stroke of Luck, Fantasy Lane, Pocket Mirror, like, you usually only want to play one of these cards at a time. But sometimes you happen to have just a full hand of all of these cards, which means that, like, you can't really play a lot of cards effectively. So if you play Fantasyland, you're basically stuck with 2 cards in hand and you can't really do anything about it. So I think that's something that I'm trying to figure out, like, how I can balance having a lot of cards that give me a lot of advantage at the beginning versus, you know, like, actually drawing cards that give me the advantage, right? The second conflicting nature is, as I explained at the beginning, is that, you know, favoritism actually conflicts with, like, the later game as well. So if I play favoritism, I can't actually play Cyclone or Misseal. So what could happen is, like, the worst thing that could happen is if I play Fantasyland and then favoritism, and then they follow up with, like, a cheater card that just exchanges my queen with their hand and I can't really do anything about it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that it only has draw power at the very end of the hand, so only on the river. So I only have Poker Faces and as my draw power, and then I have Card Payment, I guess, that can cycle for 1. But, like, real draw is really only Gamble and Poker Faces, which means that if I fold, then I won't be able to play Gamble, which means that either sometimes I have to just play the hand even though I think I'm going to lose, just so I can play Gamble and refresh my hand, or I play at a disadvantage the next hand, which both are pretty bad. And depending on the state of the game, sometimes you just can't afford to, you know, hope for luck, and then you might lose just the entire game. The third thing is that cards like Silver Bullet really disrupt this deck a lot. Every time that someone plays Silver Bullet, it almost always, like, disrupts my whole game plan, because this is also more of a combo deck where you want to have, you know, you want to have a favoritism or lockdown paired with, like, a Fantasyland or Pocket Mirror. You always want to have, like, several cards, or you want to have, like, just a card that you can play at the beginning, but then you need to have your Gamble or Poker Faces. So I think the most disruptive card is Silver Bullet or even Roulette, that, like, really takes cards out of your hand. Because if you're not able to play that Gamble or Poker Faces, then you're going to lose steam very easily. And if you only play 2 or 3 cards, then you're basically forced into an area of play, which then leads your opponent can then disrupt you very easily. So those are, like, the biggest weaknesses of the deck, I would say. So, okay, so now I'm just going to go through, like, each and every card and explain the reasoning of why I'm playing all of them. So, okay, so let's start with the universal cards. So Card Payment here, again, I already don't have a lot of card draw in this deck, which is why I think Card Payment is a must. It just helps me draw a card and dig for the cards that I want to see, especially Gamble, Pocket Mirror, and Fantasyland. The only thing that I don't like about this is that sometimes they do have a good starting hand, but I feel that I almost need to play it, so I can just cycle it and draw another action card, because if not, then Card Payment doesn't really do anything in your deck or in your hand. So yeah, Card Payment. Court Order. So Court Order is similar to, it's like a Stroke of Luck type, or I can also see it as like a Blackjack a bit. It's kind of like a bit of both. The only thing is that it only gives you 1 card, and it forces you to give a random face card, right? So the advantage of Court Order is that you can play it whenever you want. So you can wait at the very end, and if you need a face card, then you can play it. The disadvantage is that if you don't have a face card, then it's pretty much useless, because it won't give you that advantage. So that's why I only play one of, because it's kind of situational. But yeah, it could be one of the cards that I consider taking out, because yeah, sometimes it really saves me and it's really good. The other times I just don't want to see it. So we'll see. Lockdown, I wish I could play more than 1, but it's limited at 1, so that's why I'm playing it. But yeah, like, your best combo in the deck is either Fantasyland and Pocket Mirror with Lockdown, so you almost have no choice but to play it. Your preflops. So preflops, I talked about them. It's basically the core of the deck. So you have Fantasyland, Picture Perfect, and Pocket Mirror. Really, Fantasyland and Pocket Mirror are really the best cards. I'm debating on reducing the Picture Perfect, because I feel that this is one of the most easily disruptive card that I'm currently playing, either by like roll the dice, or there's also a pre-flop card that like exchanges your hand, your like I think a higher for lower or something that can be played in a pre-flop. So they can like just steal the card you just got, or they can mulligan and then draw the card that you put on top of the deck as well. So I feel picture perfect. A lot of times I play it and it doesn't really do anything. So it's something that I'm seeing if I can just maybe take out, because it's very rare that I end up like keeping that pair or that it's not disrupted. So we'll see. But I mean, yeah, basically the core of the deck is really picture perfect Fantasyland Pocket Mirror, so that's why I'm playing it for now. Like Wild Ducks is something that seems interesting to me, as well as Jackpot. But yeah, it seems very like luck. Like I feel it's kind of like more, I guess, playing them. It's just that if you somehow get your sevens or your twos, then it can be very strong. So this is something that I could consider playing instead of picture perfect. Yeah, I don't think the rest of the cards. Cold deck, I wouldn't want to play it just because it goes against most of my cards. So again, like I could potentially play because like I do play already conflicting cards, but I don't think I really need it. Flops. Okay, so here I'm playing Roll the Dice, Stroke of Luck, Blackjack, and Favoritism. I'm all playing it at 2. So Favoritism is more of a meta call. I think here you can decide between Favoritism or Card Protector. Card Protector protects you against a card exchange that gets played on the river, but really it's the only card that it disrupts. I mean, I guess it also protects against missteal, I guess. And yeah, I think that's it. It's like missteal, roulette, and then the card exchange that can affect you. But Favoritism locks them out of Cyclone, missteal, over under, and Stroke of Luck as well. So for now, I'm seeing a lot more like it's either you play against Cheater Gambler or more. I think I see more Gambler type stuff, and I feel like Gambler is more disruptive than the card exchange one. The card exchange one, like I feel if they have it, they have it. But there's more cards that disrupt my play that I think Favoritism should be played instead of Card Protector. But yeah, maybe it's something that I can test to see what is best. I also feel that if I play Favoritism early on, people are more likely to fold right away versus like trying to see if they can do something, because usually the thing that they can do is Cyclone, misdeal, or over under. Roll the Dice here is either, like I think it's a very versatile thing. It disrupts the other players if they have like a Stroke of Luck or if they have anything that like impacts the board. I can just counter it by playing Roll the Dice, which is something I like. Or I can roll the dice in my favor as well. So if I play like a blackjack, or maybe I want like a straight or something, then I can play Roll the Dice and hope to have it. Stroke of Luck and blackjack. So yeah, the more I play, sometimes these cards also are situational. Like sometimes I don't want to play Stroke of Luck, and sometimes I don't want to play blackjack. I think Stroke of Luck is probably the better of the cards. And again, like I've been talking about like having Stroke of Luck, blackjack, picture perfect, all of these cards kind of conflict together. So I'm trying to see like how I can balance it. The other cards that I would want to add to my deck are Wheel of Fortune and Three Wise Men, just because again they are more disruptive cards that I can play if I don't have like a Fantasyland or Pocket Mirror. Or I mean, actually Wheel of Fortune can combo with Fantasyland or Pocket Mirror because it doesn't impact the board, right? So I can Fantasyland. If they do something with the board, I can just Wheel of Fortune and then disrupt their board, and I know that I still have Pocket Queens in my hand. So it's something that I'm considering, and I think it's usually a strong card. I just don't see like what I can take out to do it. But yeah, maybe I can remove a blackjack or a Stroke of Luck to see if Wheel of Fortune could be better. Yeah, I don't really like Trap, so that's why I'm not playing it. And then the last thing is all the river cards. So these are all, again, like more on the gambler side. So Cyclone, Gamble, Game Plan, Misdeal, Over Under, and Roulette are all the cards that I play on the river. And yeah, I mean, they are just disruptive cards. I think my favorites are probably Cyclone, Missil, you only have one of, and Roulette. Like these 4 are like my go-tos whenever I really need to play something. Game Plan and Over Under, I feel it's more of something where they disrupted my Fantasyland, and I just want to get something, and hopefully I win because of like luck. So it's disrupting them and then giving me the advantage back and hoping that I can luck them out. So that's why I'm playing those. And then again, I have Gamble and Poker Faces, which are the draw cards for the deck. Something I'm considering is adding another Poker Faces, but because it's situational and it relies on having face cards, I don't like it as much. That's why I'm only playing one. But It's something that I might want to add because there is a lot of lack of draw in this deck, and I feel like I want more. I wish that there was like a pre-flop or flop card that could give me cards, but yeah, the only cards that I can have outside of card payment is Gamble and Poker Faces. Yeah, so that's really the deck. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I will also tack on a bunch of like matches that I've played in the past couple weeks just to show you how the deck plays and so that you can hopefully learn from it. So let me know what you think, and if you have any suggestions of cards that I can maybe swap out to make the deck better. Hope you like it. All right, so the game already started. Opponent just played carjacking, which just swaps my lower pocket card with the opponent's higher card, so now I have 5-6. I'm probably going to... I'm thinking playing Fantasyland, probably, just to counter it. So he has a 10. He can have everything. The only way he beats me here is if he has an ace here. The only play I can do is blackjack. It is pretty bad because then that gives me nothing. So I'm just going to check, and I win by fold because of Fantasyland. So I get this again. So something I like doing is seeing if I have a flush here. But because I have 5 cards at hand and I have Gamble, I'll probably just play Fantasyland again and see what my opponent does. Worst comes to worst, I can just play blackjack if I have nothing on the board, or if I have like a jack or king. But yeah, what I like about Fantasyland is that it really forces the opponent to like do something or have something, right? So 669, so again, the only way I lose here is if they have... Actually, no, I have the best hand, I think, unless they have a pocket. So I'll just check again. The only thing as I hear, they potentially have a flush play. If there's like if there's one other diamond. Or they can have trip 6, I guess, that could beat me. Yeah, I probably don't want to play this, so I'll just check again. Yeah, so I think seeing red here, they whiffed because I think they had 5 in hand. So that means there's no heart or diamond at the top, which is good actually, because then that means there's no flush possibility. So the only way that he could win is if he has 666. Okay, so now I can still have the best hand actually. He knows actually what's coming, so I might play blackjack here. I have the best hand unless he has 666. He probably doesn't have... He'll probably swipe the board, I would believe. I think I play blackjack here. I could have gotten another queen actually, which is kind of what I was... Or jack, so this is like the worst card that I could get. I'll just go because I can cyclone into something. But yeah, I also want to play Gamble here. The way that he's playing indicates that he probably doesn't have a pretty good hand, or he's bluffing me. So I lucked into double king here. So I think I will check. Yeah, he can have flush. He can have jack ace or jack 9 and get a straight actually. He did want the... No, he knows that. Maybe I'll cyclone actually. Here I looked into the king again. He can have potential flush, which I don't like. He's probably considering if I also have the flush. So to me, this probably indicates that he doesn't have the flush now, since he's thinking. He's probably wondering what I have. So now he gives me the 10. Oh, I think this was a 10, right? He probably thinks that I have a straight, which means that he probably doesn't have a straight. But now he just gave me both jack king. So the only way that he beats me is if he had ace and ace, I guess. So I'll play Gamble and just draw. I have one of the best hands here, so I'm not super worried unless he has an ace. Yeah. So now he has to have 2 pair. Well, I can't do anything anyway, so I think it's fine if I lose. I won. So this is actually really good now because not only that I won this hand, I also now start at 5 to his 2, which gives me like a huge advantage, card advantage going into this. So yeah, if I were him, I'd probably try and fold and just get more cards. Yeah, so here I'll play picture perfect, hopefully get the jack, and then I can also do court order to replace my 5 and hopefully get a jack as well. So I have 5, it's not the best, but it's fine. He doesn't do anything. So now the only way he beats me is if there's a potential flush that he can get, and then he has a lot of things that he can beat me actually. I can try and play this, and then I can either get jack or king, so I have 66% chance of getting this. If not, then I can potentially set myself up for a straight. Okay, that's fine. And then they probably think that I have a king or something. That was a 5. Yeah, so he thinks that I still have a 5. That's why he played this. I don't think he has an ace. He's starting. I wonder if I should lock down and try and win with just a pair of this. He could definitely beat me if he has an ace and king though, which is kind of risky. I looked into triple J's. I think I'll poker face. I can draw 2. Oh, this doesn't do anything. Yeah, I'll just go showdown. I can gamble actually, but I probably want to, yeah, let's go. There you go. Yeah, so I actually looked into the J. So I actually played this badly and I should have lost unless I looked into this. Okay, replace. I think I will do, I can still go for the straight. No, I think I will replace the 10 just in case of potential flush or straight. But now I can do 3-4. Yeah, so one thing I find interesting in this game is that it kind of forces you to play cards almost for nothing, because if you don't, then that means you waste card advantage. So you have to have a lot of cards that can just, or you want to play cards that could potentially give you an advantage, even though it doesn't give you a direct advantage. So like here, because I have, this is actually very good for him. Yeah, I'm curious why he is keeping this. 3-4. He can have triple threes. He can have a lot of things to beat me. I'll just gamble here. I just want to draw. I don't mind losing this pot because I have like life advantage here. And I need to, what did he do? Okay. He probably wins this, I think. Oh, wow. I, again, got very lucky. Yeah, so just reflecting on the game, there's obviously a lot of luck involved, especially I think definitely not the last game, but the game before. I think I did play it maybe badly, or he probably should have won if it weren't for luck. But yeah, like I think what's very interesting about this game is that it's a lot of card management, because it really incentivizes you to play as many cards as possible. And the difficulty in like both the deck building and game management is that you have to be able to play cards that don't necessarily hinder you, or that could like just give you a small advantage instead of like one card directly impacting your like board. So like obviously Fantasyland is like one of the best cards because that immediately gives you an advantage over the opponent, or like, you know, a card that like swaps hands that also gives you either advantage or a disadvantage on your opponent. But things like I played like the dice roll, that didn't necessarily help me, but I can use that to like potentially hinder my opponent. So yeah, that is game 1. Okay, so I am going to play Pocket Mirror here. So I'm playing against Barry, who's the #1 ranked player right now in Showdown, and he's playing Cheater Gambler, which is probably the best deck to play against me, to be honest. Yeah, here I could potentially play Favoritism. The only thing is if he has a queen, like he could potentially beat me with a straight and double queens, which I don't really like, but I'll lock this. Even if we lose, I think it's okay because I can play poker faces and this will draw us 2 cards. So I'm okay with both options here. Even if we lose, at least I draw 2. If he folds, then we get to 15, and we could obviously win with just double J's. We have potential for flush, but I assume very unlikely to happen. And then this obviously telegraphs that I have a pretty strong pocket mirror. Yeah, one card I'm thinking about playing is Homeprotector instead of Favoritism, just because that way it prevents losing against this. I have a straight now. Yeah, so I'll draw 2 here. If he has I could have lost if he had the exchange thing and he would have gotten my jack. Here I'll play card payment and just cycle and draw for an action. The other thing I'm considering, and this I talked about I think in other games, is I have a lot of like stroke of luck, blackjack. More and more I feel that blackjack is, I don't play it as often, so I might consider taking this off. I also am playing a 26 card deck instead of the minimum of 25, so this could be an easy cut. Now I think I'm just gonna play Stroke of Luck. Hopefully I get a 2 at the 2. Again, he could play, he's checking, so I assume he doesn't have the slight exchange, but he can have the thing that grabs my 2, which I'm kind of scared about actually. I'll play Favoritism again. So yeah, I don't know, I'm debating against Favoritism versus Protector because here, look, I locked like 4 of his cards. So the only card he can have that can save him here is the exchange card, which he could have drawn. So to me, this indicates that he probably has it. If he has it, then I basically lose. Or he has a 6, I guess, and then I also lose. I'll play gamble here just to draw 2. Oh, Oh, he was going for the flush, but this is stronger anyways, so I'm surprised actually he risked it. I'm gonna play Picture Perfect. Eh, 2 kind of sucks, to be honest. Yeah, I think I will play... Actually, let me play... So yeah, I can play Card of Payment. Even if it removes my 2, I get to draw a card because right now I don't have a lot of things against whatever he could play. I could play Stroke of Luck. Worst comes to worst is I get a 2 again, which is like the worst one, and every other card that I get will give me an advantage. So this is probably the technically better play. I'm just wondering if I want to risk it here. Because I could Card Payment even if it's a 2 against Stroke of Luck afterwards, and then worst comes to worst, I get like the same hand again. And yeah, I kind of want to have more card options here, so I'll risk it. I got lucky. I wonder if this signals that he knows that I would have it, like... Yeah, so he knows, yeah, I have a 2. I'll Stroke of Luck, and hopefully... Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with this because this is the highest pair anyways. So he could beat me here with any pocket higher than the 9. Oh, my ace would have been nice here, huh? Yeah, I'll just check to see what he does. This is not a very strong hand, so I am not surprised if I lose, yeah. That's fine. What's good is we get back to 5. So one thing I do want to mention, which I think is important here, is that Barry has had 5 cards, and he's getting another... So he's basically wasting 2 cards at a time, which is why I tried to, like... I think that you want to play as many cards as possible to give you card advantage while maintaining card advantage, right? So I have Jack and 10, which is not bad. I might just play this. I want him to start wasting cards, actually, because right now we're like pretty equal, and I know that he has a lot of cycling stuff, so I want him to start wasting cards in hand. I have a flush right now, so this actually forces him to play cards in hand, and I almost have a straight too. So he knows that I have at least... Oh, okay, well, I guess that deals with it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to... Oh, that's not good. So now I give option of straight, but I wanted to break the flush possibility. I have nothing here. 3, 4, 5, 6. He probably has a straight. I wonder if I want to... I think my mistake is I probably shouldn't have played roll the dice here for nothing. If I knew that I was going anyways here and trying to make him use some cards. Okay, I'm not going to play any more cards. Yeah, that's straight. That's fine. Okay, this is probably the best hand I can get. He probably just folds, I assume, which is fine, which will bring me to just pretty much equal to him for 2 cards. Now the real question is 2 cards worth 13? Maybe the answer is no. Like, if he plays this and then I play Fantasyland, I think that's really good. So what this signals that is, look at the top 2. So in the top 2, there's gonna be diamonds and hearts. That's fine. I mean, possibly flush, I guess. Okay, so here I'm gonna play blackjack because here it's gonna give me a jack and potentially 66% chance that I have a pair from this. And if not, then I can still court order at the end. And I have potential for straight. Yeah, I mean, I think what's so good about Cheater Gambler is that they have so many draw options, I think, compared to all the rest of the decks. And they have disruption. So the deck is like super adaptable to anything that you do almost. That's why it's so strong. And that's probably why Barry's #1 as well. And most people that I play that are top ladders all play Cheater Gambler. I don't think I've played against a lot of decks that are not Cheater Gambler, actually. So yeah, 44 means that this is the game that decides everything. So I have a lot of cards that can help me though. So like I can court order into a queen, and then I can over under as well if I want to try and get like double pairs, for example. So I'm not super worried. I have a straight? No, I don't have a straight. So now I have nothing. So I can over under. I wonder if I'll cyclone the board away. So this I kill his straight, I think. If he has a 9, then he wins. But now I have the highest. He probably knows I have a king, because if not, if I had a queen or a jack, I probably could have just played it. But playing over under signals that I probably want to look for the jack or the king, which I had 2 chances to get. If he does play something, I can play cyclone. But yeah, I think overall this game, I think in terms of card advantage, Barry had card advantage throughout the whole game, which put me at a disadvantage. And like, I felt pressured to try and win hands because I knew that he always had something. I think what did help is me playing favoritism and getting it. Like I got favoritism and lockdown as well, which I was very lucky to get, which really helped against him. But yeah, like again, here he has like 4 cards to my 2, which means that he has like 4 possibilities of like turning this board and this hand to his advantage. So now I have the second one. He can have a 9 or a K, I guess. What I'll do is I'll do this. So I have 1/3 of a chance of getting the king. And what's good about this is even if I don't get it, he has to always consider that I get the 33% chance and, you know, risk it. Yeah, I wish I could math and see what are the possibilities of him getting a king or a 9. So now I have to consider if I want to play Cyclone, meaning does he have the 9? Does he have a king, or does he have a pair that is higher than 7 that he got? The answer is, I guess, likely, to be honest. Not many cards in the deck. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I probably should play. GG's. Okay, so now I'm playing against Anton, who's a second ranked player of Showdown. I'm just gonna play picture perfect here. I don't know what deck he usually plays, so I guess we'll see. I would assume Cheater Gambler, because everyone plays Cheater Gambler. I have a 10. I like this because this gives me potential for straight. I'm missing, what, a 7, I think? And I get a high pair. I probably won't do anything here. That's fine. Yeah, actually, I can roll the dice on this and see if I can get 9, 10, or 7. That is also okay. Actually, no, that's pretty bad. That means I don't have anything, and I have to go for the straight. I could always card payment. That is very good. Whoosh. Okay, that is also very good. That's crazy. Yeah, give me a card. No, this sucks. If he plays Mark card, I assume it's Cheater Gambler. I have nothing. I'm gonna play Blackjack. Gives me a pair, and he has to deal with this. I could even lock down if I wanted to, but I don't think I would want to waste it on this. And it's only 12. If he plays something, maybe. For 14, is it worth it? Is it worth it? I can have a flush too risky. I'll just check. The J. Yeah, see. What do I have? I have nothing. I'll probably fold, actually. That way he doesn't get wash ashore, and then we're gonna get back to 5 each. And I have a gamble next turn. Yeah, we can have it. Sucks. Yes, give me a queen. I can say if I get a jack. If I get jack, yes sir. I could have gone a queen too, and it would have been good, so I don't mind. Actually, let me lock down this. Sure. Does he also have a straight? Okay. Oh, okay. He's gonna fold, I think. Really? Why is he doing this? Oh, what can he have that can beat me? He can have. Okay. I'll play gamble. He can have the straight, and then we both. Oh, I have a better straight. I don't get why he wasted so many cards, actually. Okay, so he's playing Rebel and Cheater, I think. You can have an 8. Well, I don't know why it always gives him like a... I think this doesn't do anything here, actually. No, it fucks me up. Look, yeah, this was stupid. And then I enabled a Cheater, which I probably shouldn't have played this. Whoopsie. Do I fold? That's fine. I can lose, actually, the pot. I think I played this badly, actually. Yeah. 96. Sure. Yeah, so favoritism is really bad against non-gambler decks, basically. Yeah, I played that really badly and it costed me, like, pretty much a game. That's fine. Let's go. Yeah, I think, thinking back of, because I played Pocket Mirror, which is, like, only a 1-of, I pushed through it, even though I knew that probably the best move was, like, after you played all of that, and me fucking up with favoritism, I really probably should have just folded right there. That's okay. He can have ace and 10. And I have to play every hand anyways, so... So now it is, does he have the ace? He can play, what's it called? Is this 2? I can probably lose. That's fine. Yay. Yeah, that's fine. I have Cyclone and Misseal, if ever. I want a Cyclone. Hopefully I just don't give him an ace. If not, then I can Misseal, and that'll be it. Nice. Okay. This is actually not bad, but this is super specific. No, I lose. I don't have anything. Yo, this is crazy. Very good counter against me. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, reflecting on this game, I think I played really badly. That game that I gave him like 40. I definitely should have folded or I probably shouldn't have played favoritism. I probably should have just folded and just kept going with my card advantage. I think that's what costed me the game for this one. But hey, lesson learned.